So we are live. Nicole from Co's Cozy Cradle is on here with me. This
Hi.
is this is just the warm up, the welcome, letting people come in. So we decided to start just a few minutes early because, well, I'll just be honest. I hate when I go to a live and somebody's saying hello for 30 to 45 minutes to everyone jumping on. So
Same.
I'm not going to do that. Nothing wrong with that though. Just deciding you're not going to do that.
Nope, not at all.
Nothing wrong with that. And if you're a creator that does that, I'm sorry if that offends you, but I do not like that. I don't like coming to you live. Hi, Butterfly Wings. So we have Butterfly Wings on. Thank you. And thank you for hitting the like button.
Hi, welcome.
Anybody that hops on, we're going to be ready to start in about 2 or 3 minutes. We're just going to give people time to hop on here and just say hello and stuff like that. But this is going to be like a 3 to 4 minute thing. Okay, we have 5 people on. And when y'all jump on, say hi. Hi, Penny. How are you? Hi, Colleen. Colleen is on.
Hi.
I'm here with Nicole from Cole's Cozy Cradle, as you guys know, because I've been advertising this.
You guys
And
can't see me right now because my doll's too big.
yeah, she's coming up to the side. She'll probably pop her head over in just a minute. So when we get ready to officially start. That's okay, Penny. Everybody misspells my name. That's okay. I have a very different spelling. It's Pennye, and I've had it spelled like the way your name is spelled. I've had it spelled like penne pasta.
Oh no.
Yes, people have written my name Penne, and I'm like, well, the pasta, but okay. And then I get it spelled like JC Penney a lot, the Penney, but that's okay. It's not that big of a deal. I'm kind of used to it because it's been that way all my life, honestly. Nobody ever gets it right. But my mom and dad did that because my mom's name is Faye and her name is spelled Y-E. So he wanted my name to match with her name. So that's why I have a Y-E too.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah. I was number 4. They tried 4 times to have a boy and had 4 girls, but everybody got their girl. So
Oh no.
yeah. So just keep in
Oh,
mind to keep the chat respectful. I don't have any of my moderators on here yet. Maybe they'll show up in just a few. I can make some people some moderators if I need to. So I'll go ahead and say if someone comes into the chat and they're being disrespectful in any kind of way toward the hobby, toward reborns, toward my guests, toward myself, toward you guys, you do not have to ask permission. You block those people. So if I have to give you a wrench and you don't have one yet, that's the way that works. So yeah, you can time them out. If they get a little unruly, you can time them out. But if they come on with saying stuff like just derogatory things toward the hobby, if they do anything like that, then don't hesitate. Do not hesitate to block them. That's
I can't
not
fathom
tolerable.
why somebody would waste their time. Like, really?
I don't know, but almost every live I have, there's somebody. Penny, I'm going to make you a moderator for me too. Let's see. Add a moderator. Let's see. Can review and remove chat messages and hide or put users in timeout. Can block words, change chat modes. Okay. All right, Penny, you are now a moderator for me, so you now have a wrench. Mather Hernandez, go Trump. Well, this is a reborn doll video, and we don't want really politics talked about. So, but you're
Please.
welcome to stay if you want to learn more about reborn dolls. Okay, so I think it's past 7 now. So you want to go ahead and get started, Nicole?
Sure.
I'm just going to make sure that I've got all of my talking points here. I don't want to miss anything. I have stuff that I write down ahead of time, and I've got some stuff taped up here. I'm not afraid to admit it because I want to stay on point because I just feel like a lot of times that I get sidetracked really easy if I don't.
Hey, I mean, if a system works, tell people
Right.
about it. Tape notes to your tripod.
Yeah, that's what I do. I've got notes stuck all right here with like little things that I know I want to mention. So I will be glancing up at some of these. All right, so we are ready to start. Let me make sure I got notes. So, welcome everyone. I am so glad that you are here. Thanks for joining me for the very first official Doll Room Live 2026. I've got my reborn baby doll Stellan with me. She's the Everly Gwen sculpt by Natalie Scholl, and she was beautifully reborn by Brandon's Coffee of Dollies and Things. And so there she is. And tonight we're going to talk about something I call more than what you see, finding your way in the doll collecting hobby. Because when you really look at this hobby, it's so much more than just the dolls themselves. Doll collecting is about something so much deeper. It's about the connection and the creativity and the comfort and the healing and discovering what truly speaks to you. And that might look different for every single person, and especially the people outside the hobby that don't understand it. So everyone comes to doll collecting from different places, and they bring their own experiences, their own talents, and their reasons for being here. Some people join the hobby as artists and they love to customize dolls. Others collect because they like the treasure of the uniqueness. And then some, like me, are storytellers and they use their dolls to express ideas and emotions. And it's comfort and peaceful and healing. So our paths might differ, but they unite us in the joy of these dolls and what the world of these dolls means. So we're going to have an honest conversation about the doll community, how to embrace this hobby in ways that feels genuine to you. And I'm really excited about this because I won't be having this talk alone. I'm joined by my wonderful guest, Nicole from Cole's Cozy Cradle. So y'all go check her channel out if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much, Nicole, for being here. Could
Thank
you
you for
take a
having
moment
me.
and share with us about yourself and how you got started in collecting dolls and tell us who you have with you tonight?
Yeah, so my name is Nicole, and right here is my child size reborn, Lyndon. She is Alawinka by Natalie Blick, and she is 40 inches tall for anybody wondering how big she is. And she is holding her baby brother, Rowan, who is kind of a hybrid between a manufactured doll and a reborn. So he is an Anne Lauren doll. They are manufactured in Spain, and then they're given little detail work by artists who are also based in Spain. And so he's kind of a hybrid. I do collect all kinds of lifelike dolls, both handmade and manufactured, and I love all of them for different reasons. I'm totally blind. Um, for anybody noticing that I can't make eye contact with the camera, and I have been a doll person all my life. I discovered reborns, I think, around 2010 and got my first one in 2012. And I've been a content creator here on YouTube for 10 years as of this year. So I'm a collector. I would also describe myself as a storyteller. Um, Creativity with dolls is very important to me. So,
Me
yeah, that's
too.
just a little bit about me.
And as she described, she works on dolls as well. Like she can modify their bodies and just different things about them. Like her child size doll, she's actually changed her wig out a couple of times.
Yeah, I wigged her and I put her together, and that was intense. I'm good if I never have to do that again because she's huge. Um, but
Tanya
I
said hi
also
and so did Penny. They both said hi to you, Nicole. Or actually, she said
hi.
hi to you.
And I also rebodied this guy. As with many manufactured dolls, he came on a body that was kind of too small. Oh, and I knit. I like to knit baby things. He's wearing some booties that I made.
Oh, yes. I love her knitting. Like she does an outstanding job, and I love the uniqueness of it. Y'all, my notes keep trying to fall down. They didn't fall down one time when I was like practicing this, and they keep trying to fall. But yeah, I told her I was like, "You're gonna have to make some booties for me. Like I'm gonna have to commission you for some booties because she does a wonderful job making booties.
Yeah, I
I
absolutely love knitting little baby things.
I love the way they look. Okay, well, thanks for sharing that, Nicole. And that really highlights an important truth and that's that everyone's experience with the doll collecting is unique and is shaped by personal stories and emotional needs and what brings each person happiness. So there really is no right or wrong way. Some might collect rare dolls. Um, Others might just dive into customizing and artistically transforming the dolls. And for some, they just like to have the dolls for storytelling and role playing and just the fun. So what's great about doll collecting is how inclusive it can be. It doesn't matter how you get started, if you're an artist or a collector or whatever, it's the feeling that you get as a community, and that's why I believe it's so important to allow yourself permission to enjoy doll collecting the way that suits you best. And so there's no certain rule of what certain type of doll or particular way. It's just a reflection of you, how you want to collect. So whether you're an artist, a collector, or just somebody who's beginning to try to find your place, just know that your journey is valid and this hobby thrives off of a wide range of passions and purposes. So, tonight, Nicole and I will explore some of the challenges we might face, maybe feeling misunderstood or unsure where we fit in. But we'll also talk about the joy that comes from discovering your own path in the hobby and what kind of connection that fosters and how you can feel supported and included. So, I encourage everyone to keep an open mind and just remember, this is a space of acceptance and growth. So whether you're immersed in collecting or you're just curious about reborn dolls, you can find your way here. So to wrap up this introduction, I want to remind you that doll collecting is more than just the dolls on a shelf. It's about stories we tell and the comfort they bring and the creative spark that it lights in all of us. So thanks again for joining us tonight, and let's dive into this conversation together and see where it takes us. So, what I'm going to do, if you were at my last live, you know that I asked questions to not only my guest, but also the audience. So, you guys will have questions. Hi, Southern Reborn Nursery. I'm going to give you a wrench too, okay? I'm going to do that real quick. That is a moderator. There we go. You can never have too many moderators. So, I have a question. Um, for the audience, and you can be typing in your answer as I give Nicole her question, and she can be talking, and then I'll look back through and see what your answers were. So, to the audience, when did you first fall in love with reborn dolls? And for you, Nicole, I would like to know, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself than what you said in the introduction and how you got interested in the dolls in the first place?
Yeah, sure. So I've always been a doll person. Always, always. Literally for as long as I can remember, I've loved dolls of many different
Many
kinds.
different kinds.
But I also always really loved baby dolls. And for me, it's about how they feel. And certainly as a child,
Certainly
it
as a
was more
child.
about how they felt, more than how they looked. And so the more realistic they were, the better I liked them. And as I got older, I got interested in collector dolls. And my first loves were definitely Lee Middletons. I was introduced to them by a family friend when I was really young, and I didn't have one for a long time. But that led me to Ashton Drake, which led me to Behringer, which led me naturally to Reborns. And my first lifelike doll was a special edition Behringer, and then I did get a Lee Middleton and later a Paradise Galleries doll, and finally my first Reborn. So
That's
and I
A lot
came
of times those dolls are like a gateway to ending up with a reborn.
they can be, but I feel like also I've kind of come full circle where I appreciate my Reborns and my manufactured dolls equally for their different qualities that they have.
That's true. I did the same thing this year, with my masterpiece and all that. I appreciated both forms of art and I even showed them together, even though they were two totally different types of art dolls. But they each have
Absolutely.
beauty in their own way. So Penny says, she says, "Hi, Nicole, you are amazing. How do you know what you're buying, not being able to see?"
Ooh, that's a really good question. So the answer to that has changed over the years. When I first got into the doll hobby, I was basically guessing. I was not at all happy with my first reborn, not because she wasn't well made. She was, but because I didn't like the kit. She was just really, really not cuddly. So after that, I did learn to ask for help. Sometimes I asked the wrong people and I got burned or I got scammed. That happened so often that now I'm very, very wary who I allow to help me.
Mhm. And I
Uh,
don't blame you.
yeah, it's there are people who will hurt you just because they can. Um,
And shame
but
on them.
Yeah, but now there are tools for the visually impaired that are run by AI. And I know that AI is, one of those things that people love to hate and love to debate. But I don't want to incite debate. I just want to tell you that it can be an amazing tool for accessibility because I
Right.
can send a picture to these things and it can tell me about what it sees in the picture. I can ask follow up questions and it will answer them. Now, that only helps me insofar as if it's a good picture,
Right.
but that greatly helps me in making informed decisions about dolls, about clothes, about other kinds of products in general, all kinds of things.
Yeah. It's very helpful. And that was a very good question, Penny. Monica says, "I am definitely in the hobby for the art." Yeah, I mean, I think it can be a combination for people. They get into it because they're intrigued by the art when they first see them. They're like, "What is this?" And then for myself, I was a very imaginative, creative child. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I can play babies again and it's acceptable.
Totally, totally with you on that.
It's totally not acceptable to some, but to the community that I was joining, I was like, oh my gosh, there's a whole community of people who like this.
Yeah, I remember the very first Reborn video I saw, I was just mind blown.
I was too. Absolutely. Monica says, I agree. It is so fun. So I guess, is Monica the only one that answered the questions or the audience question? Yeah, I guess so. Um, so for our second question, I'll ask the audience, do you remember your very first doll? And you can tell us a little about it in your comments, or you can, just briefly do it, just whatever you want to do. Like I said, I'll go through. Hi, Jenny. Okay, that's fine. She said, hey, they're just now having a chance to hop on your live. So, Nicole, as a blind creator, how do you navigate YouTube and create content, which is basically what was already asked by Penny, but what tools do you use specifically to help you? I know you use more than AI.
Oh, yeah, for sure. AI is a very new thing and really doesn't come into content creation all that much. I mean, it helps me, like, pick outfits and accessories and things like that that coordinate. It gives me a lot more certainty about that, but when it comes to content creation, boy, that has changed a lot over the years too. Um,
Yes,
so,
it
I mean, I can think back and remember a time, in my young adulthood when if somebody had told me that I would be able to do this, I would have laughed at them and said they were lying
I
because
mean,
it was impossible. I
hmm
mean, that technology just didn't exist. But I do have an iPhone. It's just a regular iPhone that anybody might have. But iPhones do come preloaded with a screen reader. I think most smartphones do now, at least from the big companies.
yeah, mine has a screen reader too. I can choose to
Yeah,
have it if I want to, and it's a Android.
yeah. I highly don't recommend experimenting with a screen reader on your phone unless you look up how to use it because it will change how your screen operates. But anyway,
I've never turned it on, so yeah, I was always afraid of something like that, and I was like, "Yeah," I'll be having to call Nicole, going, "Help me!"
and I would
Only
be
I
like,
be
oh, I
having
don't
time. I
know.
would use my husband's phone and be like, "Hey, my phone is inoperable right now. Can you help me? Because I put it on screen reader."
Yeah. So when I go into the camera on my phone, it will tell me when it can see what it perceives as a human face and where it's positioned in the frame. And so since my dolls don't move, that makes me able to direct the camera at them to film them. And it's taken a lot of practice. And I do have limitations. There are tools that I can't use. Some of the editors that do, really fancy things, I can't use them.
Yeah,
Some features of even mainstream editors are not accessible to me. Animating type apps, stop motion, that kind of thing, that is not accessible to me, at least not yet. But I am able to be here. And at one point, I didn't believe that that was possible. And so I feel really blessed and
well, I
sometimes
feel
really
blessed too
isolated.
because we got to know each other because of your ability to celebrate the hobby on YouTube, and technology has helped all of us in a sense because we are sharing our hobby on YouTube and other places through smart devices and technology. So it's helped us all in that sense, you know?
Yeah, it allows us to be connected. On the
Ab-
other hand, it can sometimes feel like being a pioneer as a blind content creator. And that sounds really exciting when you say it, but sometimes when you live it out, it can
Yeah,
feel heavy.
it's an adventure.
It's an
Adventure,
adventure, but sometimes it's a little bit
adventures are not
isolating.
easy. They're
Yeah,
worth it, but they're not easy. Um,
yeah.
Monica said, "Oh wait, are we talking about as children or our first? Reborn dolls. Sorry, I didn't specify. Just your first reborn doll, like what sculpt you had. Um, let's see. Jenny said, "Yes, I do. My very first reborn was chased by Bonnie Brown. His name was Aiden Jude."
Aw.
And Tanya said, "I still have mine." She said, "I even have my first doll ever from childhood. And guess what? Her name is Nikki." Oh, that's cool.
Aw. That's so amazing.
Penny said, "Sorry, I had a call. I missed one." I was just asking if you can, if you remember your first reborn doll, and if you wanted to share anything about it. So y'all still have time to answer that question because I'm gonna actually put Stellan on the bed, little changing area, and I'm gonna change her into like a little nighttime outfit because she has been in this cute outfit. This came from Sheen or Shein, however you pronounce it. And they have very few newborn stuff on there, but I actually found a pink one just like it. And I have it in my cart. And I found 3 more newborn outfits that I'm gonna order for her that are so stinking cute. But I love it when they have matching big giant headbands like this. It's just it's hard to find those for an affordable price. And so these little outfits on Shein are like $15 and you don't have to pay. The reason why they went up on their price is you don't have to pay that fee that they pay, the whatever that fee is called where you ship stuff over, the tariff or whatever. So it's not as cheap as they used to be, but it's still cheap because comparable prices of outfits like this are like 40 and $50.
Wow.
Yeah, I just looked at them today and I was Colleen said, my sister and I have always had all kinds of dolls ever since we were young, since we were kids. And then she said, my first doll was a Cabbage Patch Kid.
Oh,
Hey,
I love Cabbage Patch.
yeah.
I have 2 very special Cabbage Patch dolls.
Monica said, I love her outfit. Thank you. I do too. And it came in her box opening, and I've been trying to find it ever since because it just had a tag that says NB on it. That's it. But it came from Shein. I did a reverse Google search and I found it. And so that's how I found the other outfits too.
Now
Tanya
there's a
said,
cool technological advancement.
right. I love that. I love reverse Google searching. Tanya said, oh, my first reborn was Bailey, the biracial baby. And then Penny said, I've always loved dolls as well, but reborn dolls, I fell in love in 2012 and I started with Lee Middleton.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have. I actually have a Lee Middleton doll over here. I got to scoot back. Sorry.
I still
I
love Lee
know,
Middletons.
I know y'all just got all up in my face right then because I was scooting and I'm in a rocking chair, so it was like going forward. But you're going to be facing Stellan in just a second. So I'm going to take my little contraption down. I have, those picture frames. I'm going to show it to you once I get it down. The picture frames that have the little clip on them. They don't have a glass on the front. I have a bunch of notes in this thing.
That's a
And
good
then,
idea.
yeah, and I have some stuck to my pole as well. And so I've got it up here on a wing and a prayer. It is literally attached with rubber bands. I kid you not. But it's a great place for like when I have something I want to say and then I can just like glance up at it and it keeps me on track. ADHD brain. So let me get my notes out of here. Of course I dropped something. Okay. I'm gonna put those over here. And this is what it was on. It's like a little picture frame and you can like clip a picture in it, but it holds a note card really well too. And these 2 rubber bands was holding it to my tripod by the handle. I had one around it this way going around the handle and one around it this way going around the platform that swivels up and down. It worked. Okay, so let's get you guys flipped around. And as you can see, Japheth is over there. I did a cute role play video with him today. So if y'all haven't seen that and you want to go check it out, feel free to do so.
It
So
is
he's
very
kind of in
cute.
the background. Oh, I had so much fun making it. I absolutely love role play videos and making role play videos. Monica said, I love how crafty you are. Hey, if something needs to be invented and I need it, I will find a way. You know how they say, like, that's like a saying, like, oh, they say that need is the
Necessity is the mother of
yeah,
invention.
necessity is the motivator for invention. It is true. Like I was like, I need something. Because I mean, I can only fit so many note cards sticking to my pole over here for my tripod. I don't know who's putting laughing faces. I guess y'all are laughing at me though. Hey, Raisin Reborn. She said, Ayo, Ayo, Raisin Reborn's in the house. Penny said, I have 5 children and I had them so close together, 5 in 5 years. Oh, wow. I homeschooled them, so my time was limited, but now that they're grown up, I have time to collect and spend time with them. See, that's wonderful. And when you have your kids young too, it's like when I went to my class reunion a few years ago, or probably more than a few, you know how time gets away. But people my age had 9 and 10-year-olds because Paul and I
Wow.
were like, "Hey, do y'all want to go sing karaoke after we get out of here?" And they were like, "Oh no, I got to go pick up my 10-year-old or whatever." So like they were doing all their running around in their 20s. I had a baby in my 20s. So like by that time I was in my 40s, and so we had grown children. You know, my biological son was grown and my stepchildren were as good as grown, you know, teenagers. So it was like I was like, wow, they still have little kids. Welcome, welcome everybody as you come in. And also if you are a moderator, when people pop on, you are more than welcome to, you know, say welcome to them and all that. So um let me get to my next section here. There we go. I was like, where's my note card with my questions? Okay, so for my audience, I would like to know what makes a doll special to you personally. And then for you, Nicole, can you tell us about your favorite dolls and why you enjoy collecting them?
Ooh, that's so hard because like they're all my favorite, but I think that broadly speaking, my favorites tend to be dolls with character. So I enjoy realism, and I have my own ways of perceiving realism, um, largely, by touch. But I love a doll that just has personality to me, that speaks to something inside me emotionally, that says, this is the physical embodiment of an imaginary character. These two right here
Mhm.
definitely have that for me, and I love them. And I also love a good cuddler. I really like it when they have both character and cuddle factor. So I
Yeah,
think
me too. That's
those
a
are my
plus.
favorites.
Like Stellan, she's a very cuddly baby. Like she scrunches like the way she is sculpted is just magnificent. Like she just folds into herself.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what attracted me to her because usually I like awake babies, but I just fell head over heels for her, even though she's a sleeping baby.
So do you see character in her, or is it all about the snuggles?
It's about the snuggles, but also I see character in her. I mean, I see a, you know, a sweet newborn that started off on the small side, you know, and so I see her as like this sweet little baby that's just getting used to routines and, you know, doing all the things that, like, I don't know, to me, she looks 2 weeks old. Like, I always think of her as being 2 weeks old. And
Oh,
so,
that's the precious stage.
yeah, and so that's the time when the babies are just starting to learn day from night. And, you know, this is when we sleep and this is when we're awake and they're learning their sleep, eat, play routines, and so it's just a really sweet age. So I just see her as having a sweet personality as well as being this darling little baby that um I don't know, like she reminds me of the baby like I didn't know I needed her until I got her. You know what I mean? Because like I said, normally I look at awake sculpts. I prefer those actually. And just knowing how much that I love her and her posing ability and everything, it just, it made me open my mind to be more accepting of asleep babies. Because before I was like, no, I would look at a skull and be like, well, that's cute, but they're asleep. Because I like the role play. But there's different angles with the camera that you can do. I forgot to take the tag off that. Um, you can position them to make them look like they're awake, like show them from the top of the head or from like the side of their face. And so it can literally change your perspective when you do it like that as well.
And there really is something about that sleepy, peaceful newborn.
Yes. And also, they're great for outings because what's going on? Oh, you're still snapped. These are this little side vest, and can be so like the side snap. And I love it. It's a little white, just classic side vest, but man, they can be very confusing because they have tons of snaps. Or not tons, but they're just the way they're positioned, you have to get it just right. Okay. Let me see. Colleen said, me and my sister got our first newborn doll from a neighbor that didn't want her, and we adopted her. And ever since, we've been collecting reborns.
Oh, that's so
Oh, I
sweet.
love
I love
that.
that.
And Jenny said the realism and how cuddly they are. Like that's what she likes in a doll.
Definitely.
Well, before I got Stellan, I would have been like, oh, it's got to be an awake baby. That's what I look for in a doll. But well, actually, and Kylo too. When I had him, I really loved him, and he was also an asleep baby. And it was fun to do role play and stuff with him.
And little sailor. Baby,
Yeah,
like
I
tiny
loved
sailor.
him too. I did. And Penny said, that's so cute. She's being crafty. And Monica said, that's awesome, Colleen. Okay, so I guess we'll move on to the next question. Which is for the audience, I would like to know, are you more of a minimalist collector or a large collection collector? And for
I'm
you, Nicole, I would like you to answer, how do you choose which dolls to purchase and what features do you look for?
I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I'm a maximalist that wishes she was a minimalist. Oh,
I
okay.
think all of us.
Okay, so what features do I look for? That's there are things that I look for. I look for cuddle factor. So like for instance with Rowan here, he's got this nice bend in his legs. So that means that when he's being held, he just kind of curls into you. I love that.
Oh, yes, me too.
I love to have at least one bent leg, and I don't really love straight arms. I like a little bend in the arm. Um, but really, while I do look at all of this stuff and consider facial expressions, I really like softer expressions. Big smiles can be fun. Little grumpy, fussy faces can be fun. but I do tend to prefer softer expressions. But while I look at all that and size, you know, she's my biggest. Lyndon here's my biggest, but generally, I hang around the 19 to 24-inch range, and sometimes smaller and sometimes bigger, just depending. But a lot of it's intuition. A lot of it with the
True.
babies
Yeah.
that I've gotten, it's just intuition. It's, "Oh, I think I'm gonna love this one." And a lot of times that turns out to be true.
Well, that's kinda oh, I love the bow in her hair. She is so cute with the
Oh.
bow. I just clipped a little tiny bow on top of Stellan's head, and it looks so cute.
Oh.
I'm gonna put some little pink and white socks on her and a passy that she can't put in her mouth, but it's there for visualization. Visual that is so hard to say. Visualization purposes. When you say those 2 words together, that's kinda hard. Alright, so now we have her little folded up self. Look at that. He's so cute.
Every time you describe her, I just wanna squish her.
Tanya says, I love smiling toddlers and babies I can do great photos with. I have a preemie to a 5-year-old. And then Penny says,
Awesome.
I have all 5 children. I had all 5 children by the time I was 24. Yeah, I was almost 20 when my son was born. Jenny says, I am more of a minimalist collector. Having too many dolls causes me to be overwhelmed. I feel like having a smaller collection allows me the ability to maintain a bond with all of my dolls. So true. That's why I have also been like been more mindful about which ones I want, and I really think about it and kind of plan it out. Penny says, "How many silicones do y'all have? I'm saving for one, but I have heard pros and cons on them." Well, that's a good one. Are you asking the audience too? So, audience, y'all can answer, and for everyone in the chat, I guess I should say. I keep saying
I
audience.
have one partial, but, I'm about to box her up again because I also have a kitty who, like, the concept of personal space does not exist for him,
He's like, personal space. What do you mean?
and I have her on a really high shelf, and he still finds ways to get up there, and he will almost walk across her face, and I just can't handle it because she's very sentimental to me. She came from a very special friend, and that's the reason that I have her. So, she's going to have to be protected, and that's definitely like, the difficulty with just keeping him off of her has put me off the idea of silicones for at least the duration of his life.
So Monica and Tanya both are like, they're kind of laughing about minimalist. They're like, yeah, right. Tanya said, yeah, right. I love all my babies. And then Monica said, what number is considered a minimalist?
It's such a problem, like, I think that what you said, Jenny, is so true. If you have fewer, then you enjoy them in a deeper way. But it's so hard for me because I get so attached to every one of them. Like, I have so many dolls, and the thought of letting any of them go just makes me so sad. I can't do it. I could if I had to, but
I
I would have
mean,
to really have to.
good at letting dolls go because I feel like if I'm never paying them any attention or doing anything with them, then they need to move on to somebody who is going to pay them attention and do things with them. And I know they don't have feelings, but you know what I mean. Like,
Sure,
I want to
and
have dolls that I can create characters with and a connection with, not only for me, but for anybody who comes to my channel to watch my videos. I want y'all to have connections too, not just me.
so
Uh,
what do you feel about the flip side of that?
the flip side of holding on to them.
No, when people make a connection and then for whatever reason you need to let it all go. And
Oh,
then,
yeah, I've experienced that. I've had people actually get mad at me. I've had people make videos about me because I decided to let go of certain dolls. And I'm just like, "Y'all, it ain't that serious. It's dolls and it's a hobby." And I know they look like babies, but they're actually art and collector's item and they're objects, and, we own our dolls and it's up to us what we do with them. So, um, even though I can kinda understand it, I still find it kind of, an overbearing kind of thing to get mad at someone because they wanted to sell their own doll. Like, that's to me, that's a little too far. Penny wants to know, are the silicones worth saving for? I'm gonna answer that and say, absolutely. I would rather save for one special doll that I wanted than buy 10 other kinds of dolls. You know what I mean? Which I mean, you can get silicones for less than the cost of 10 other dolls, but you know what I mean. To me, it would be worth it because if you really, really want that baby, and especially if you keep going back to it, I would say if you keep looking at it and you go back to it and go back to it and go back to it, then there's something drawing you to that doll and you need that doll for your collection. Excuse me. Okay. So I guess we can move on to our next question. So, for everyone in the chat, do you display your dolls or do you keep them stored most of the time? And for you, Nicole, like, how do you showcase your dolls and what kind of displays or storage do you use?
oh, wow. I have done everything imaginable with my dolls over the years, besides having a dedicated nursery because I've never lived anywhere where I could have that. And I have lived in some very tiny spaces. Right now, I am blessed with more space. However, it's very open space, so I don't have like a dedicated baby room or anything like that. But I do have I have a gigantic closet, and it has some amazing shelves built right into one of the walls. And they're so sturdy, and so there's so much room in between them that I keep my dolls on those shelves, with the exception of Miss Linden here. She has her own chair that she sits in. And
Yeah.
I also have my mom's antique doll crib. Well, I guess it's not antique, it's vintage. And I use that for a display. So I will keep one or two babies out at a time in the crib where I can just easily get them. And I think that that's part of the reason that I can have a bigger collection without feeling overwhelmed all the time, because I rotate them.
And that's nice to do that. Okay, Monica, she said this was fun, but I have to go. You ladies have a great night. Thank
Good
you
night,
for popping
Monica.
in. And Penny says, have you ever thought of doing a tutorial on role play video and editing? Actually, um, I do have a live planned about role play, and I'm actually going to be, it's not really a tutorial, but I'm going to be like sharing some tips and tricks and things that I have and do. And I'll have a guest on there who also role plays. And so you guys can like shoot questions at us and we'll, you know, tell you to the best of our ability what we do.
That'll be amazing.
Yes, I've got that coming up in February. Um, and then babies and blessings, Jenny says, I keep mine stored on a shelf in my closet because my family would have a cow, and cows in all caps, if I displayed them.
I feel like that cow would be deserved by them. Like don't be a jerk to somebody for having dolls, especially your family member.
I don't get why people think they should have a say in your enjoyment and your comfort. Like, That's not for another person to decide for me. That's for me to decide for myself.
But I do get, choosing a storage spot that doesn't cause problems for other people who share your living space, though.
Penny said, I would say I'm a large collector. I always want more. I mean, no, for that. And she said, I'm traveling headed to Florida. Oh, well, have fun when you get there. So, Tanya says, sorry, I'm being detained by my teens. Well, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Um, Matthew, you can join our chat respectfully, but calling things creepy or anything like that that's not an acceptable thing on this live. Because using a hobby or an object for comfort does not equal weird. And that framing is just harmful and stigmatizing. And it's important we don't confuse coping tools with diagnoses. Thank you. That's all we ask is respect. You're welcome to stay on here and learn about reborn dolls if you want to. We're not going to ask you to leave, but just be respectful. That's all we ask. Because we realize that our hobby is a niche hobby. But still, I think a lot of times people just come on to say things like it's weird, it's creepy, it's this, it's that, because they don't want to take the time to learn about it. And it's easier to just say, I don't like this because it's weird. But it takes effort to actually learn about something. So to everyone in the chat, what does back to the basics mean in your doll room? Like if you just said, I'm going to get back to the basics, because that's what I've said for this year. And I'm in the middle of like working through that and getting everything the way I want it to be. So what does that mean to you as collectors? And then for Nicole, I want to ask you, can you describe your favorite doll or dolls in detail and why those dolls or doll is so special to you?
Well, two of my favorites are sitting right here.
And I can see
Lyndon
one.
Lyndon is absolutely unique in my entire collecting experience. I never thought that I would want to have a child-sized reborn until I got to see one in person, and then I was like, "Oh my goodness, I have to have one of these." And specifically this sculpt. She
What
is
what's the
she's
size?
special.
Because I had the same size
Yeah,
before.
it's a perfect size. She's
Mhm.
not too big to move or carry, but she's big enough to feel like a presence in the room. So I think that what makes her so special to me is that something about her nurtures my inner child.
Yeah.
And
I think
so,
that'll be true for a lot of people with their favorite dolls. Like you have a special connection in some kind of way. Okay, Jenny, she said she's got to go. Hubby's almost home.
bye, Jenny.
And thank you, Penny. She said that my baby looks adorable in her new outfit. Thank you.
And then Rowan, he's another favorite, and he also really surprised me. And I love everything about him, but one thing that I really love with him is that I'm not afraid to do anything with him because
Yeah.
he's manufactured. And because, I mean, he does have some of the realism of a reborn in his painting, which he's all covered up right now, but he's got the blushing and the creasing and the nails and things. you know, but he's durable. He's durable.
Yeah. And the
I
woolly dolls, they don't get enough advertisement. I feel like they would be more popular if they advertise them more because they're also the ones that make Kennedy and Friends. And you don't see a lot of them around because they don't do a lot of marketing. And I feel like they would be a much bigger company. And it's always a plus, everyone always talks about they love the vinyl and stuff that comes from Spain. I have some dolls from Spain. My Palorena dolls are also from Spain. And I do like the smooth feel. Now it's a different kind of vinyl there, and it's a soft vinyl. It's not hard and shiny or not shiny, but like hard porcelainish. That
Yeah,
makes sense. Like a masterpiece doll. It's not like that. It's soft but uh thicker. It's a thicker vinyl, and so it feels really smooth.
I think too that the Spanish dolls, they just have a lot of life. I mean, Rowan is one of my favorites to take to visit my grandmother who has dementia and who loves the babies. And her caregivers will even talk to him. Like, he's just a little heart stealer.
Well, it is just like a natural instinct, even when you know it's a doll. When you hold it, you want to pat it, rock it, everything. Like even people who are not doll collectors, when they hold my reborns, especially my little newborn size, they want to cradle them and pat them and rock, and they'll say, "Look at me, I'm rocking and patting this baby." And I'm like, "It's okay." Like they almost feel embarrassed about it. And I'm like, "It's a totally natural reaction because that doll is stimulating the serotonin and the dopamine in your brain that you would be feeling from like a real baby." So
Yeah, it
it's
absolutely they
totally
trick our
fine.
brains.
Yeah,
They trick our
they
brains.
do.
And I think that that's why people, when they see them, sometimes their knee-jerk reaction is to say, "Oh, that's creepy,"
Yeah,
because they don't like the feeling of having their brain tricked. And that's okay.
right. And sometimes they don't like it just because they know that other people wouldn't, and so they're afraid of what other people are going to think.
Yeah. I mean, it's not okay to say rude things, but it's okay to feel uneasy and to, for it
Right.
not to be your thing.
Right. Ask questions and learn, but be respectful about it. Penny says she would like to get a child-sized doll one day, and then Tanya says she loves her child-sized dolls.
They are so amazing, Penny. I hope you can.
Yeah, me too. So, did anybody answer the back to the basics question? I guess not. Nobody's answered that. So, that's your next question, Nicole. Like, um, what does it mean for you? Like getting back to the basics. What does that mean to you as a collector?
For me, that means as far as content creation goes, getting back to putting out the kind of content that brought me to the community in the first place.
Yes, you're preaching to the choir over here, sister.
Oh,
Preach
yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, the just simple, sweet, calming videos that drew so many of us in who have been here for a long time. I don't know where that stuff has gone or how it got swallowed up, and it hasn't all disappeared, not by any means. But it seems like there's, become more drama and less fun. And so I just want to have fun, and I am focusing this year on enjoying the dolls that I have and not
Mhm.
deliberately shopping or chasing. And I'm not saying that shopping is a bad thing. If you want to shop for a doll and you can do that and, be okay financially and everything, go for it. Shop for that doll. But for me, I need to stop chasing and start enjoying.
Exactly. That is see, that's what I'm doing too, but in an opposite way. Like I'm selling all of the dolls that don't fit what I want my channel to be. and I'm adding dolls that I know I'm gonna want, like, the storylines I know I want to have for them, the dolls that are gonna fit that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm doing the opposite of you. I'm like but I'm doing it with intention and purpose, like, I'm doing kind of the same thing. I'm not gonna just buy to be buying or look to be looking. It's with an intention and a purpose of why I want to have them because I feel like I will enjoy them so much more. And then because I'm enjoying them, people who come to my channel are gonna enjoy them as well because I know I feel that way. If I go to someone's channel who I know is enjoying their dolls and they love their storyline they have going or whatever it is, it draws me in, and then I can't wait to see what they do next with that doll. Like, "Oh, I wonder what video is coming next and what are they gonna do next?" Or, it keeps me engaged. And
Yeah.
so I want to stay engaged, not only with my own channel, but with everyone else's too.
And I don't even think it matters what kind of doll you have. You could have, you know, a several $1,000 silicone or a doll that you got from Walmart or a Cabbage Patch Kid or a Baby Born or a Behringer or just insert whatever type of doll. If you
Right.
love them, other people that will be communicated to other people, and they will love them because
Yeah.
you do.
Well, I've seen people present like Ashton Drake and Paradise Galleries like yourself and Behringer dolls and all that, and they will present them and treat them just like we do a reborn,
I
and
absolutely
so
adore my Paradise Galleries babies.
yeah, and so I adore them with you. It's like when I see you come on with them, I'm like, "Oh, she's bringing on, your Noah sculpt." What is your Noah sculpt's name?
Andrew.
Andrew. I don't know why. I can't think of all
Because
these
I
names.
have a
I
Noah
love you,
too. I
Andrew.
have another baby named Noah, and it confuses everybody,
And I
including
always
me.
wanted to say no, and I'm like, "No, that's it's different." So I was like, "Ah," I love when you bring, Andrew on and well, any of them. It's just I love that. Penny
Yeah.
said, "We live in an RV 11 months out of the year, but we built a house and I have one room as my nursery. But I take 3 with me on the road. We help small struggling churches, so it's our ministry, and that's why we're going to Florida." Well, that's
Oh, that's
awesome, Penny.
wonderful.
I love that.
Yeah, me
So
too.
I guess we'll move on to the next section and let's talk about accessibility and adaptive techniques. So, for my chat, have you found creative ways to adapt your hobby to your own needs? And for you, Nicole, can you walk us through how you use your assistive technology to interact with your dolls and to create content?
Sure. So, when I am dressing my dolls, if I have any doubts about which, socks, hats, headbands, etc., might go with a specific outfit, I will use AI descriptive tools to check that. I'll take pictures of the items that I would like to use and figure out what matches up. And also, I have a lot of dolls in a lot of different sizes. And there's no way, absolutely no way, that I can memorize every piece of clothing that I have. I wish I was that good, but I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that as a major barrier.
It used to be. Now it feels like it isn't because of, again,
Because
those
of your tool.
those image describers.
Mhm.
Um, I also discovered, and I've touched on this already a little bit, that I could use them when shopping on Paradise Galleries and the Anne Lauren website, although that was significantly harder. They don't tend to work well on reborn sites, but that's okay because most of that is out of my budget at this point anyway. Um, and also, when it comes to creating content, I'm able to coordinate a lot more and be more intentional about my backgrounds or my like blankets and things that I use.
Mhm. And
And
that's awesome because the aesthetic is very important when you're making your videos and you want it to all tie together.
yeah, and I don't obsess over that because I'm pretty relaxed, but I love that I can get an idea of what kind of vibe my setup might give before I even start videoing. And I can also do more with testing camera angles and stuff than I used to be able to. I'm pretty careful with camera angles, and sometimes I feel a little limited with that. But I am starting to get braver and experiment more with different angles, and I would really like to do that, especially with my sleeping babies.
Yeah. Well, I like that you have all that because people of any abilities they might have deserve to have hobbies and communities to belong and to interact in. And I love that because of the technology, you're able to do things that most people who are blind cannot. Like in that, or they can now, but they couldn't in the past. And I
Actually,
know
I
it
would
takes
say
some
that
learning,
most
but
most still don't know how to utilize those things to do things like this. Most blind people are so accustomed to believing that they can't that they maybe are afraid to try or they don't want to try because it is a lot of work to learn. It's a lot of work and it can be very frustrating. And the number of times that I've just wanted to throw a phone or something at the wall, I can't even count them. But it's great because the better the technology gets, the narrower that gap is and the less different I feel from the rest of the community.
and that's an awesome thing. That's an awesome thing because I'm glad you're part of this community.
Thank you. I am too.
So I'm going to answer that one question since nobody have about creative ways to adapt your hobby to your own needs. Hey, what I did earlier where I wanted to have my little bullet points up there to talk about everything I wanted to talk about. Ingenuity. I will do things like that all the time. I will like have something rigged up over to the side and you can't even see it. You don't know it's there, but it's there to help me. Um and there's nothing wrong with having notes and tools and stuff like that to help you along when you're making a video or you're doing a discussion, and it helps to keep you on track. And yeah, nothing wrong with that. So
I think Penny highlighted something when she was talking about going in an RV and just taking, a few babies along. That's one way to adapt.
yeah, because you're traveling and you know you can't bring your whole room with you. Definitely. Dee from the Baby Patch does that as well. Like they travel in their RV a lot and she'll do the same thing. Like she'll bring a few little items so she can do videos while she's out. So yeah, that's definitely a good way. $1 at a time, Penny said. Yeah. And Colleen said, would like to add you on YouTube, Nicole. Yeah, her channel name is Cole's Cozy Cradle. And I meant to add a link to her channel
I
so
know. I
that
just realized that we didn't do that.
I forgot to do that. I forgot. I am so sorry. But anyways, I do have a link to her channel on my wall where I posted. So you can click on that and it'll take you right to her channel and you can subscribe. So thank you, Colleen, for doing that.
Yeah, thank you. And if anybody has other questions about how I do things as a blind collector or creator, I do have a playlist on my channel called Dolling It Blind instead of doing it, dolling it blind,
Yeah,
which you're
that's
welcome to check
I
out.
love that. I love that play on words.
And also, I'm happy to answer any question at any time.
And so Nicole, I have another question for you. What challenges do you face when it comes to collecting and caring for your dolls, and how do you overcome that?
Ooh, that's a good one. So, one thing that has pushed me a little more toward manufactured dolls lately. Now, I still have my reborns and I still love them. But because I handle my dolls so much and I rely so much on touch, I'm going to let you see my hand, you know. If I want to know what her facial expression is doing, I have to trace her features with my finger like that. And I'm being very gentle. But you can imagine that a lot of touching like that, it will wear on the paint and the
Yeah.
varnish. She is still pretty good, and she is going to be 7 this year. But because I know that I touch my dolls more, I do gravitate a little bit more toward dolls like Rowan here because I know that I'm not going to rub off their paint. And with my reborns, I'm just really careful and I'm very mindful of how I handle them. I have literally loved the paint off of a doll before, and I was devastated because I didn't have the money to have him repaired. And in fact, I
Um,
needed money, so I had to sell him as basically a blanket. And I do regret that. But so that's one thing. Shopping for reborns these days, which again, I'm not doing much of because I can't financially, but it's become very difficult. Selling has become impossible because I understand why, but everywhere wants safety pictures with some kind of handwritten thing proving that you have a doll in your possession because there are so many scammers. I can't do that.
yeah.
So,
And that's
therefore,
bad that it's like that, but it's so true. It is so true. Like yesterday, I was on Facebook and someone posted in a group and they said, "Is this for real?" And they like posted this on there. And so I was trying to be very informative. And so this person was trying to sell them, actually, it was stolen pictures of silicone dolls. And they were saying, "Which model do you want? This is my so and so model, and this is this, and this one is 250, and this one is 275." And I told her, I said, "That is absolutely 100% a scam because, first of all, those are stolen pictures. They don't have those dolls. Secondly, a blank silicone doll costs way more than 250. So you're not going to get a completed doll, painted, rooted, everything for 250. That can't happen. It cannot happen." And I was like, and especially dolls that look like that, but even dolls that are beginner work or booby babies or whatever, they're still going to be more than 250, so,
I mean,
I let
unless you
them.
get like the Amazon ones.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think, well, I guess you could get, but they've went up on their prices, or so I've been told. I don't really look at them, but they've went up because of all the tariffs and stuff. They've
Yeah.
raised the prices of all those dolls, so they're a little higher than they used to be.
Ashton Drake and Paradise Galleries do have authentic silicones.
Yeah, but those dolls you can expect to be around that price.
Yeah,
She the
absolutely.
the pictures that she was showing was like, master artist work, or, an artist that it has been reborning for a long time and is very skilled. And I'm like, yeah, that's your first sign right there. That is definitely a scam. Do not give this person your money. And so
Yeah.
my next question for you, you already answered it, but I'll just go ahead and tell it to you. I was like, how do you adapt your doll collecting habits to accommodate your blindness? And so you already told
Yeah.
us that, what you do and how you use your tools, and how you've adapted your collection to collecting more manufacturer type babies because you rely on touch and everything. So you've already answered that. So I guess we can move on.
Well, it's interesting because sometimes, especially more, a few years ago, I would get into this slump where I would feel like I shouldn't have reborns because I can't appreciate them and I touch them too much and blah blah blah. Especially after that happened with my one doll, I was really feeling like I just didn't deserve to have this kind of artwork because I couldn't even see it to appreciate it. And that made me sad, and I thought, "Oh, I just should
Mhm.
go to Ashton Drake and just Paradise Galleries," and I felt like I was losing something by even contemplating that. But the funny thing is that now that I have, moved through that and realized that there are more than one way to appreciate a piece of art,
Mhm. Well, for
now
the
I
reason you
enjoy
described,
these.
you actually were, because you were just telling yourself, "I don't deserve it," instead of now you buy those dolls because you enjoy them and you want them, and it's not because it was almost like it was a punishment before, like, "Well, I don't deserve
Yeah,
these ribbons. This is the only
yeah,
thing I can have." So, yeah, it kinda was like that when
yeah.
you had that mindset.
And actually, I find that now with my mixture, I appreciate all of my dolls, including my artist-made reborns even
Yeah.
more.
Well, that's great that you have evolved and come to this portion in your collection, like this chapter of your collecting, because I mean, we navigate this hobby like I said the other day, it's never in a straight line. Like we might start on the straightaway and then we go off on an exit and go around a bunch of curves and then come back out on the highway and then down the road a little bit, we'll do the same thing again. Like that, and that's okay because everybody's hobby journey is going to be different and it's going to look different. And that's totally fine. And then Penny just said, "That's amazing, Nicole." When you were explaining all the all that stuff about your touch and how you like the other dolls. And then she said, "I'm not much into technology and computers. That's why I asked if you were going to do a tutorial." Well, I actually don't use a computer. I do everything I do with my phone. So yeah, I'll be talking about all that because if someone wants to make role play videos and add sounds and all that kind of stuff in, I want them to be able to do that too. I'm not that content creator that wants to be the only one that can do something. There's a lot of people that will, they have like they keep secrets and like, "Oh, we can't I don't want to expose this or tell how to do that," because then they'll do it too. Well, what's wrong with that? That's sharing in your hobby and everybody can enjoy it. Because a hobby is not a hobby if there's only certain things that you can enjoy. I mean, who would enjoy that? I wouldn't. If I go to someone's channel and they're the only ones that can have this certain doll or do this certain thing on their channel with their videos and get mad if someone else does it, like, why even be in the hobby if you're going to be that way? That's my opinion. So
Also,
yeah,
if
I
you
don't
think
mind
you're
sharing it
keeping
all.
secrets, somebody's gonna figure it out anyway. So you might as well just be
You
transparent.
know, because people are intelligent. That's just like, the Google reverse search I was talking about. If I see an outfit somewhere, it's easy to take a screenshot of it and put it in Google search and find out where to find it. It'll even tell me where to purchase it. Like go to this website and that website, and you can find that here, and then it'll take you right to everything. So, I mean,
And when I have
it's
something good,
easy
I
to
want other
find
people to get
something.
to have it.
Me too. I want to share it.
Like,
Like I got to
I
be like,
love sharing this guy.
"Oh, I found."
I absolutely love sharing Rowan because I hope more people decide to look at these dolls.
Yeah. And if anyone does actually want to order one, just know that they take a couple of weeks to ship things out and you're not getting scammed or anything. It's a legit company.
And they will
But
probably need to call you on the phone.
yeah, and they do phone calls, which I do wish more companies would do. So, but yeah, don't be alarmed if you do go on there and you see a baby you like and it's taking them a couple of weeks to ship it out. You're going to get your doll. It's just it's one lady, I think, trying to run the whole show. Like, I feel like she needs a bigger team, like a marketing team, and she needs like a shipping team. Like she needs more people, and it's just her doing all of it. So
Yeah.
or that's what we think, because because when you call you can call the phone number and she answers it every time. There's no secretary, there's no nothing. So
But
Petey
even
says she
with all
wants to look
that,
you up, Nicole. Yeah,
oh,
she's
thank
tagged my
you.
wall post. So go on my wall post where I was talking about the live tonight, and you will see her channel, and I've got it tagged, and you can just click on it and it'll take you right to her channel. Like I said, I meant to put a pinned comment with her channel link in there, but my bad, I didn't do that. Okay, so let's move to section 4, unless there's anything else you wanted to say, Nicole.
No, that's okay.
Okay, so what inspired you to start sharing your dolls on YouTube?
I just really, really wanted to. I my favorite YouTuber was Laura from Little X Loves, if anybody else remembers her. And I mean, she got me interested. She got me watching doll videos on YouTube. And I just
Yes.
really, really wanted to share my dolls with other people, and I didn't really have anybody in my life at the time that I could share them with. And it was a really hard decision, and I waffled around about it a few times because I knew that it was gonna be really scary because the technology then was not where it is now, and I did make a lot of mistakes, and I made plenty of videos where all you could see was the wall or something like that, but I just really wanted to do it. I wanted to
And
be connected.
that's the first step, is just doing it. If you want to do reborn videos on YouTube, do it.
Yeah, and I know your inspiration was similar, right?
Right, it was. It was the same way. And Nakia just asked, are they real? No, Nakia, these are reborn baby dolls. We are part of the reborn community and we collect these dolls. And every Tuesday night, my channel is going to be having some informative lives. So you're welcome to learn more about reborn dolls if you would like. They're not for everyone. It's a very niche hobby, but you're welcome to stay on if you want to learn more. But just know that uh, respect is expected in the chat. So, but you're welcome to ask respectful questions. So for anyone in the audience or in the chat, I don't know why I keep calling it audience because it's actually a chat, but what made you feel welcome in the doll community when you first started? And how has the community helped you stay inspired? And for you, Nicole, what advice would you give to others who may be hesitant to share their passion due to accessibility or an inclusion concern?
I would say that the only way to completely fail is not to try. And also know
Mhm.
that there are people out there who will help you. And if you're blind or visually impaired and that's the angle that you're coming from, chances are good that you already have things that can help you. And it is okay to reach out for help. You know, if you have family and friends that you can ask for feedback on just snapping pictures, that's a good way to start. And if you don't, get those look into AI apps. A lot of them are free
Mhm.
and they will give you good feedback. That was not available 10 years ago when I started. I had to wait for somebody to be available to help me. And if it's some other kind of disability, just know that you will find your people. It may take time, but you will find your people.
Very good advice. Hi, Melissa. I just noticed you were here. Did you just get here or have I been overlooking you? um, so you were talking about, just jumping onto your channel. Like, well, you just decided to do it, so you made one. So how do you feel like the doll community has responded to your videos? Like when you were saying, sometimes I'm showing the wall and so, I didn't know. And so were people kind of afraid to like tell you or
Actually,
how did
from
that
the beginning, I had people who were so kind and so helpful to me and gave such good feedback from the very beginning. I felt so welcomed. And a lot of people who were there then are not here now. But some of them are. Some of them still are. Some people have followed me from the beginning and I'm still, watching them as well. And that's such a blessing.
Mhm. Well, a lot
And
of people
I
have left
welcome
whole
feedback.
communities.
Yeah. But I welcome feedback, and I think, also for anyone who may be watching, who may be considering doing this, it's also about how you receive feedback. You have to be gracious in receiving it in order to get more. And
It's right,
sometimes it might
because
not feel very good because you worked really hard to do something
right.
and it didn't work out. That doesn't feel good,
That's
but
what
it's
I was gonna
okay.
say, because sometimes you're like, "Oh, well, I thought that was good," and then someone's like, "Well, you could do this different," or whatever. I've had that said to me before, and I would be like, "Hmm," my feelings would get a little hurt, then I'd be like, "Well, it was respectful what they said, and respectful critique should be welcomed," and now I do welcome it, but then I felt some type of way about it, I don't know why, but I did. Hi, Tori. Tori is from Tori's Reborn Babies is on here, and she said, "Hi, Penny and Nicole."
Hi, Tori.
And Tanya said, "Holly Church really encouraged me to do a channel." Oh,
Holly is so sweet.
I love Holly.
But
We
yeah,
are glad you're
you
here.
have to receive it and
Mhm.
be open to it and think about it. And maybe you can approach it in that, okay, well, I did this and it felt good to me. It didn't look good to this other person, but it was still a win because I did it and I
Right.
tried.
That's
That's
what
always
matters
a win.
is because if you don't try, you're always going to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if you do fail, try again and try to fail better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
fail as much. You may still like not do exactly the way you wanted it to, but that's fine. There's nothing that says you can't have a learning curve because everybody's going to have. If you say you know everything right now,
You're a
you
liar.
you are misinforming yourself and because you learn every single day of your life. That saying, "I was today years old when I learned that," I- you know that's true. Like I will be just living my life and somebody will tell me something, I'll be like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, I was today years old when I learned that." So that's a normal thing.
And that's such a beautiful thing. Like, isn't that like the best thing about the human experience? We get to learn all the time. I can't
Mm,
think of a better way to live life.
we don't have a cap to our intelligence. It's like we can learn every day of our lives, every day.
And also, as far as content creation goes, even if you make mistakes, like technical mistakes with video making, if your heart is behind it, there are people who are going to see your heart through your mistakes.
Absolutely. And that is what attracts me to a channel because
Absolutely, me too.
they don't have to have perfect lighting and, you know, perfectly dressed babies or whatever. Their heart and their intention attracts me to them.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I can't see the screen. I can't see what any of you guys do.
Right.
I'm listening for that heart in your voice.
Mhm.
When I watch a video, that's what I'm looking for.
And you can hear it. You can hear it because sometimes I will watch a video and I'll be like, "Oh my gosh," like just the tone of their voice. I'm like, um, like,
Like, no.
yeah, I'll just be like, "Yeah, just sneak out of here, real quick." Penny said, "Thank you, Penny." I'm not used to having other pennies around. Like I'm usually the only one around. She said, "Thank you, Penny. I need all the help I can get." Yeah, we'll help you. It when you get ready to start your channel, um, you can add me on Facebook if you would like. and I will gladly like walk you through it because we'd love to have you making videos and sharing your babies. And
Yeah.
and we'll help you out. We'll share your videos on our wall and help to get other people to know that you are now posting videos because a lot of times when people start out as just commenters, they don't know that they've started a channel. So it's good to get someone to help you because they're just used to you being a commenting channel because I have lots of those. And they would have to actually tell me, "Hey, I'm posting videos now." Cuz I wouldn't know. I would just think they were still just commenting. Melissa said, "Raw and real. I love it." Yeah, that's how we roll around here. I mean, it's kind of structured because we do have questions in a format, but at the same time, it's not rigid. It's just it's go with the flow kind of structure, if that makes sense.
Yeah, when I decided to become a content creator, I knew immediately that, I always want to be the same person on camera that I would be if you met me in real life.
Yeah. And you are because Nicole came to my house one time and stayed a few days and we went to a meetup and we hit it off right from the start because when you're real on camera and then when you get together, you feel like you already know each other, even though it might be the first time you met in person, and you just click. Like we just clicked, and everything was great. And
It was so
I mean,
fun.
we've been friends for years, and
Hey, did
so
you
I
realize
told
it's 10
Nicole,
years this year?
yeah,
It's 10 years.
it's 10 years.
How cool is that?
That is cool. Yeah, I joined the hobby in 2016, and I met Nicole like directly after. And I can't remember if I came to your channel first or you came to mine, but I don't guess that really matters. But I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, did I find her? Did she find me? I can't remember.
I think I found you because I remember like your first role play videos.
Oh yeah. My
And
my
I was
my heart
so,
is
so
passion.
excited.
So this brings me to my next question, and this can be answered by the audience and you. What kind of content do you wish there was more of? And I'm gonna go ahead and say role play.
Yeah. I'm gonna add a caveat to my answer though and say, I like the role plays that feel real. So if it's
Yeah.
overly staged or cartoonish, I struggle. Like I just don't connect with it. I know a lot of people do, and that's great. But
Yeah. I
I like
like
when
the
it feels
realistic
real.
ones as well.
And I like when the
Mhm.
person who's doing it feels like a real person and not a cartoon character.
Yeah. And there's people who do that type of role play, and that's fine. And of course, I'm very supportive in them in that if that's what they like to do, because I think you should be able to express your imagination and creativeness any way you want. But I'm like you, I like to keep it realistic. So I won't make my dolls like talk to each other if they're like, selling size and, I don't make them talk. They're going to have baby sounds and toddlers may talk, but they're going to talk like a toddler would talk. You know what I mean? Like that's the realism that I like and having them represented for the correct stage that they should be in for like their size and all that.
Yeah. Some of that's a little bit looser for me because I feel like with some of the manufactured dolls, especially like Paradise Galleries, not so much with
Mhm.
Rowan, but definitely
With
the
the
Paradise
closure.
Galleries, you get the life scale instead of life size. So like they're big enough to wear baby clothes, but they are smaller than their appearance.
Right. Yeah.
And so
Tori says, sorry, go ahead.
a lot of times they're like babies with toddler personalities. So you can
Yeah. I
imagine that they would
understand.
be thinking their own thoughts, but I still don't make them talk unless they're like, "Well, Lyndon is my only talker."
Yeah. It just feels more I connect more with it like that.
Yeah.
So Tori says, I miss the old days like 10 years ago when we had more role play and outings from everyone. Me
Me
too, Tori.
too.
I'm watching old videos. Like I've watched some of your old videos. I fell in love with the video that you did with the reborn baby in the storm. It was like a storm going on outside.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Was
and
that,
I watched that when you first put it out, but then, um, Nicole and I both have been watching older role plays on purpose, like, we're, like, searching for them, and she'll be like, "Hey, I found this role play, blah, blah, blah," and then I'm telling her so we can go watch it, and, I actually rewatched some of your role plays the other day because, I want that feeling back, and Nicole and I actually said, "We wanna bring old school back." So, hey, join us in that because Nicole and I are going to be doing that. Anybody else who wants to do that, come on, do it with us.
that
Like
needs
we
to
want
be
to
like a
bring that back.
hashtag or something.
Yes. She said the story behind the storm role play, I randomly decided to film it at 9:30 at night for no reason. Hey, that's the best kind.
But that video has lived in people's heads and hearts for all this time. Like, I still know exactly
Exactly.
which video that is.
Like how many years ago was that? And I still remember it. And
Yeah, it
then
was
Penny,
great.
she loves the role plays. Tori said, hashtag bring back reborn role play. Hey, I'll start putting it on all of my role play videos. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Penny said, I will watch it, Tori. Yeah, go to her channel. It'll pop up because it's one that's got quite a few views.
And I love the really longer role play videos too. Like, I know everybody's attention span is shorter now, but I love a good long one to relax to.
I'm like, TikTok has just ruined everybody's brain.
I
If
can't
it's
stand it.
30 seconds, we're swiping away. And I'm just like, no, I want depth and a story. Melissa said, I'm ready for role play. I love Tori's channel too. And then Tanya said, I miss Amanda with Montenegro babies. Me too. I loved her stuff with Emmy.
Oh, yeah. And I
Melissa
think
said,
that
she
is
also loves long role plays.
awesome. Well, let's see. My most recent one that I made was over Thanksgiving weekend, but I want to do a lot more of them this year.
Yeah, I focused on that too. I think I've already made 3 in the past 3 weeks. So I'm on a roll.
Haha, a roll.
Right.
A
Tori said,
roll.
I would still be filming a lot more role play videos, but with 4 little kids, role play takes a lot of time and effort now, but I film them when I can. Film them when I can.
There's absolutely no way that I would be able to do it with small children. I struggle with a cat.
Yeah, I can see that. And of course, your family comes first before, hobby
I
things.
don't even think I'd want to do it if I was doing it for real.
Right. Tanya said she made me have to have a Tory. Me too. That's why I had Rhiannon, the one I had back in the day. That is the reason. And Penny said, I have never done any of that, but hopefully one day.
You can do it. We believe in you.
Yes. So let's move on to my next little section here. I want to talk about personal and fun things. Um, so I'm going to ask the audience, the chat, whatever you want to call it. I want to know, do you see your dolls more as art companions or a storyline?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
So you guys be letting me know that in the chat. And you can answer that too, Nicole, if you want. But I want to ask you this question as well. If you could have any doll or doll related experience, what would it be? And I want to say, before you answer, a friend and I were kidding around one day and said we would love it if people in the reborn community got together and went on a dolly cruise.
Oh,
And
wow.
then we were just talking about we would do this and we would do that. And I'm like, you know what? I would love to experience that. I would love it if somehow we got it coordinated. And can you imagine other people on the cruise ship would be like, "What the heck is going on with all these people with these dolls?" But I would love that. That is an experience I would love to have. I would love to go on a cruise with a bunch of my Dolly sisters, either from YouTube or not from YouTube, or like if you just watch YouTube, just something like that. I would love to do that. So, what is yours? What would you like to experience?
I feel like this is so like going all the way back to childhood, but I would love like an in-person adoption experience. And I mean adoption, not box opening, adoption. Does anybody remember the Lee Middleton newborn nursery where you could go and like look at the babies through the glass and then adopt your baby, and like your baby would get a checkup and all that? And you
I
made
don't
a
remember
promise
that,
about.
but there's a doll, that Papa Meat guy, he went to a similar store like that in Missouri where a woman is doing reborn dolls like that. I'll have to actually go back and find his channel. So there are some artists who are doing that, and I love that.
I would love to have that kind of experience. It almost doesn't matter to me what type of doll it was. I mean, obviously I'd want, a doll that I want, but I would just love I would love that. And I would love maybe to do it with a friend so that, just to have the fun of like doing it together.
Yeah. Well,
I
hey,
feel
let's
like it would
plan
be
that.
so amazing.
Let's plan you coming to see me, and we will do that. I will
I've
find
always
out
thought it
where
would
that
be
store is.
I've always thought it would be really fun to go to like Babyland General too, even though that's Cabbage Patch. It's not lifelike dolls, but still, like
Well, Tanya actually brought that up one time. That would be a good place for a meetup, and I agree. Tanya says she still
so
has her
fun.
toy, but she needs touch up. And she said all of the above. And she said, yes, I was thinking of that. Was that me and you? I couldn't remember who talked about that with. She said, yes, I was thinking of that conversation with about the cruise. I was like, I can't remember. It was a friend of mine, and we were talking about a cruise, or like, a Dolly cruise. And Tori says, to answer the question, she says, art and therapy tools. The art takes me back to the days my kids were little babies, and I love to hold them when I'm really stressed. The weight helps. Yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
weighted blanket that you hold and cuddle. And then she says, but my reasons I enjoy my dolls have changed over time. I think a lot of people have. Oh, and Melissa said someone named Mama Collie does that, talking about the little store experience or the
Yeah. She does silicones.
rental experience. And then
Yeah, she
Penny
does
said,
silicone
agree,
ones.
Tori. She said, there is a small doll store near me who still has the remaining Lee Middleton stock and has the adoption experience. I did a
That's
tour of it
so
on my channel a
cool.
couple of years ago. That was from Tori.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah.
I'll have to go find that and watch that because I think that would be pretty neat. Tanya said, it's fun. Yes, it was us. Yeah. Like I said, I was like, I can't even remember who I talked about that with, but that would be freaking awesome. And Penny said it would be fun to do a doll meetup and go out. We'd go on cruises all the time. A doll cruise would be awesome. I think are you in Florida, Tori? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Melissa said, especially if you have anxiety, my silicone helps me. Oh, absolutely. These can be great comfort tools. And there's nothing wrong with having comfort tools.
I have a
And yeah,
visitor
um,
to say
we
hi to
have planned
everybody.
we have planned meetups. So the next time I plan one, I'll just advertise it on my channel too. Like I mostly talk about it in my group, which is called Dolltopia on Facebook. And if you would like to become a member of Dolltopia, just ask to join. We are actually wanting more active members because we have like 100 members, I think now, or 98 or something like that. But the same few of us are the ones posting and commenting and all that. So if you would love to join a doll community and want to be an active poster, an active commenter, Dolltopia is the group for you because that's what we're looking for. And it's actually, we plan meetups every once in a while. Um, it's been a long time since I had one. The last one we had was last October, and it was called Mummy and Me, and we did t-shirts. I mean, we do a lot of fun stuff, so it's great. Colleen says, "I'm autistic and the dolls help me." Yeah, they're really good for that. And Penny says, "We will be in Ocala." That's where y'all going for your church mission. So, for the commenters in the chat, a lot of you have already said one of the questions that I had, like that your dolls, bring you comfort, and that's awesome. And so this is kind of like one of those fun what if situations, or maybe not so much fun, but which doll would you save if you could grab only one if something was going on? Like if you had to rush out the door and you were able to grab a doll, which one would you get? And then Nicole, can you share a particularly heartwarming moment that you've had with your dolls, like something that you think back on it and you're like, "Oh, I remember that, and that was a great day."
Oh, wow. There have been so, so, so many. Um, Goodness. Oh, now I'm echoing. That's great.
Oh no. Well, the screen went black for just a minute and then it came back. So I don't know if that caused it.
And now your volume has dropped way out.
Oh. Well, you guys, I don't know what happened. So I don't want to continue if there's going to be a lot of echoing and stuff. Do y'all hear? Is Nicole echoing to you guys? Tanya said her one doll she would grab is Spencer. Anybody? A little. Melissa said you're echoing a little. And Tori says, yes, the sound has changed. Yeah, all of a sudden the screen just went black and then it came back. Okay, so I don't want to keep everybody if we're going to have technical difficulties. So we just had a couple of more questions, anyways. So we'll go ahead and call it quits because it's already like an hour and a half long. And Penny said, I'm saving for a silicone. And then Colleen says, when me and Dominique, my sister, got our reborn Amber. Okay, so since the technical difficulties started, I want to get real close since you said the sound has changed. And I guess we're just going to start wrapping up tonight. But I just want to say how grateful I am for this conversation that we've all had and for everybody keeping it respectful, even when we had people pop on who were not in the community. We had one person to say it's kind of creepy, but then after I explained to him everything, he said respect, and kind of bowed out. And I said, "You're welcome to stay if you want to learn." But so, anyways, getting back to the basics, it doesn't mean that you're doing less. It just means doing what feels most meaningful to you. And whether that's collecting that one special doll or creating a storyline or adapting your hobby to fit your personal needs or just simply finding comfort when you walk into your doll room, all of it is valid. So, Nicole, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your insight and your heart with us tonight. And Y'all, please make sure that you check out Cole's Cozy Cradle if you haven't already, because her channel is a beautiful reminder that this hobby is for everyone. And to everyone watching and chatting with us tonight, thank you for being part of this community, because your voice and your stories and your kindness are what truly makes this whole doll collecting journey special for all of us. So, this has been the Doll Room Live with Penny. I'll see you next time. And until then, keep collecting what brings you joy.
Thanks for having me,
Thanks for
Penny.
having me, Penny.
You're welcome, and thank you so much.